often asked the question, what does four-wheel driving mean to me? Is it the exhilarating driving and the adrenaline? Is it getting away from the rat race and the stresses of modern life? Or is it the ability to experience places that most people can only dream about? Well, let me tell you, it's all of that amazing stuff, and I just love it. But let's not forget one more thing. It's also about the challenges along the way and battling through with your mates. And in Coffs Harbour, that's exactly what we need to do. What we have down here is 100% busted front diff. No drive to the front. Two-wheel drive, Coffs Harbour, the back of, heaps of rain, these tracks are as slick as ice, and we've got a camper trailer to get out of here. And the only way we're going to do that, of course, is a snatch strap, and I'm going to try and pull the whole schmozzle out of here. Shawnee, how are we looking, mate?
Mate, all good.
All good to go?
Yeah.
All right, sweet, we're going to give it a red hot go. This is Coffs Harbour, this is four-wheel drive action. To find out how we got into this little pickle, you're going to have to sit down and buckle up and get ready for some action, which is exactly what I'm about to go and do. Yeah, that's right. 2 days ago, we kicked off this adventure with our Forbies humming along nicely. By us, I mean my mate Shawnee, good mate Jock, and Nathan from MDC Camper Trailers. Hey Nathan, you got a copy, mate?
Yeah, mate, gotcha.
Back on DVD, last time we saw you on DVD was quite some time ago, Creb Track, if memory serves me correct.
Yeah, we found PJ's gold mine.
That's right, we did too. What trailer you got with you this time, mate?
I've got one of my new MDC deluxe trailers with independent suspension. So, mate, it's a good, solid, robust little trailer, independent suspension, you know, could be the pick of the soft floors at the moment. You know, we need to give it a good workout. So, yeah, here we go.
The plan for this weekend adventure is to tackle as many of Coffs' iconic tracks as we possibly can in the time that we have, including the Power Lines track, the infamous Third Bear, and as much mud as we can possibly cram in. All of this with some beaut bush camping, but this is Coffs, and Coffs may just have different plans for us. Let's find out. Hey, Shawnee, we are getting very, very close to that Coffs region, mate. You know what that means?
Certainly do, mate. It's almost time to lock the hubs because the tracks around here get pretty hard.
That's an understatement, mate.
Jocko, you were up here just last weekend, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, mate. We had a bit of fun. It wasn't as wet as it's been for us now, but yeah, it was a good one.
Mate, we'll put that Hilux of yours to the test, that's for sure. This is proper four-wheel drive country up here.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Well, if you need me to go in front, I can.
That's the attitude. Hey lads, there's a couple of different lines here. I'm gonna err on the side of keeping my panels nice and straight and try and head up this left-hand line. I'll let you boys choose your own adventure here.
Oh, you're not wrong, mate. That middle line's very tempting. It's it looks like some pretty big ruts in it.
Yeah, by the looks of those ruts, I reckon I'm going to follow you up there, Graham, and I reckon they'd swallow the little Luxie.
Yeah, mate, I think that's a sensible option. This first rutted hill climb is a real doozy, and with that red soil just starting to get damp, I'm going to have my work cut out for me, and so are all the boys. Jocko, that's pretty slippery at the top there, bud.
Luckily, I got all this horsepower, mate.
I'm going to give it a red hot go, and I think things are going pretty well until I slipped into one of those huge erosion gullies on the left-hand side.
See just how slippery that is. That's insane.
Looks like a pretty deep rut you put the D-Max in there, Graham.
Yeah, it is, mate, it is. And now that I'm in it, you know what this soil's like, I just can't get out. Of course, this soil, pretty good when it's dry, but it only needs the smallest amount of moisture on it, and you get virtually zero traction.
Wait till I get up there and I'll pull you backwards if you need to.
Nah, there's nowhere I can kind of go, bro. Like, you kind of have to be in this rut. It's a tough one. I'm actually thinking I might have to winch. Mate, doesn't take much.
Doesn't take much at all, mate. Look, it's quite moist. You can see there's puddles everywhere. They've had a fair bit of rain up here.
I mean, to look at it, you look like it's hard work walking up there.
Yeah.
Can't get traction. Correct. I'll just get you to keep an eye on those wheels.
Make sure.
Say yes, no, and if you run away,
then you run away.
I'll get out. Rattle!
Good luck.
These ruts are, of course, caused by insane amounts of rainfall hitting this slope. The runoff causes erosion, and erosion, of course, causes ruts. And ruts, well, they're a good deal of fun.
Here we go, mate. This left line looks pretty slippery.
It's Shauno's turn. Here he comes.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a little bit of right foot on that one.
Yeah, you're not wrong. She's, I hate to see this after a bit of rain.
You can see Shauno's come hard up on that left-hand side there, slipped into the rut in the rear, you can't get back out. Almost exactly a carbon copy of where I went wrong a little further up.
Nah, she's pretty slippery, mate. I couldn't get in the rut. I was halfway in between it.
So she just didn't want to stay up on that left side?
No, I didn't want to stay on that left side, mate. I'm going to go down and give it another go and take the line that D-Max did and then try and cross over.
Yep, that's the way to rock and roll. And you can see when he gets up to that harder part of the top, he's straddled that rut and it's as if it's not even there. And that is the key.
Well, the way Sean and I drove that, I reckon the Luxie's going to have a bit of a dance around, but guess we'll find out.
Literally, your back just came up and made it. I thought, oh no, you're going to do the same thing as me. But no, you made it. And from there, it was easy.
Oh yeah, it was like driving a highway once I got on the right line. But it's just slippery. That's where Jock's got. If he's going to drive this, he's going to take a perfect line and enough momentum. If he backs off or falls into that rut, you're done. Good night, Irene, mate.
All right, let's call him up.
Sounds good.
Righto, Luxie, time to show him what you can do, mate. Let's get into it.
It's Jock's turn now. Now, he lives and breathes this stuff. On the weekends, if he's not out wheeling that little Hilux of his, he's at home working on other parts of it to make it a tougher truck for these kind of tracks.
Climb, baby, climb.
And of course, he's got lockers fitted front and rear to the Luxie, which should really help him get through this.
That one dropped. Come on, I can get it.
It's a hole, baby. You're on some you hit the earth.
Yeah, I think I diffed out.
You had the right idea, mate. Just
Your back end didn't come up with you though?
Yeah.
Straighten her up. Jock takes a much better line on his second attempt and makes it up.
Nicely done, Luxie.
But as we're preparing for Nathan's run, the rain came, and it was heavy. All of a sudden, this hill climb has gone from tough to downright dangerous. When this clay gets wet, it just turns to grease and there's no hope of getting the trailer up here. We make the decision to get turned around and head to another track that isn't quite so steep and gnarly. Just getting the trailer turned around near the bottom and Nathan is sliding all over the place. That was the most perfect turn of a trailer.
Hey boys, I'm coming down.
But just as Sean attempts to turn around, he too is straight into a slide.
Yeah, I'm going to come down at a bit greater knots here, mate. I'm a passenger here.
With a bit of skillful feathering of the brakes, he somehow manages to keep the 80 under control. Perfect! That was impressive.
Hey!
That was sick. Just slid into that thing and turned around.
Just a J turn.
Yeah, insane, insane.
A little bit of takeover drift, mate.
So we're going to turn around and come down this.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, that's cool. I almost want to just come for a passenger ride.
My advice to you is put a blindfold on.
I've got a little bit of brakes.
Put your seatbelt on, bud.
Yeah,
that's a good
Put that on.
Luxie will get it done, I
You'll be
think.
right. You'll be right. I probably wouldn't stay in these ruts.
Yeah. Just give it a go, boys.
All right,
Yep,
let's
all
do
right,
this.
let's do it.
I've managed to get the D-Max turned around on that flat up top, but now I've got to ride this out. All right, first gear low range. Just gonna try and stick out of the ruts a bit here if I can and just take it really nice and slow. Just see how we go. If I do start to slide, I want to try and take my foot off the brake and attempt to drive out of it. It's me fully locked up.
Oh,
See if I can drive out of here. Well, I've slid right off the track, but I guess it could have been worse. What I was hoping for is that it would be a gentle stop and not a harsh one into a tree. And I got what I wanted. Just not moving backwards, am I?
That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it.
I don't really know what happened there. I saw you go down forwards and now you're backing out.
Yeah, mate, I just did the old flip.
That's comforting.
Yeah, that was sick.
That's all skill. You see, we train for these sort of rally events every now and again. You're just a passenger on these tracks. It's so slippery, you've got no choice, but you can sometimes use gravity to your advantage and a fair bit of wheel spin to your advantage, and he's just done that and done a pretty insane little backwards, I don't know, Scandinavian flick, what do you call that?
Right, Luxie. See how you go going down this, eh? I don't think I'm going to be able to do much. I think I just got to let her run.
Now it's Jock's turn on this slip and slide.
All right, here comes the fun bit.
No, this is the bit. This is the bit. He should get ready for the Scandinavian flick. He's got it. He's got it.
Yoo-hoo! Go the Luxie. It's a drift car. Loves it. Ew.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Mate, that's insane.
That's something else, isn't it?
Super slippery.
That's a common thread with a lot of Coffs tracks. You get a bit of rain, this red clay stuff.
No, it's just game over.
Game over.
Yep.
All right, let's go find a harder track. Come on, boys. we nailed this one. Let's go find something that will really test us.
Coffs 1, us 0.
Yeah, love Coffs Harbour.
I'm going to take up ballet.
I'm taking up knitting.
With the trailer, safety comes first. And had we continued, well, who knows what might have happened. Onward we go, and we're aiming to get out to an awesome camp called the Cod Hole before dark. However, between us and that Cod Hole, we've got some classic Coffs Harbour bog holes to get through. Here we go. Part 1 of my plan, of course, is to try and turn into this hill. Something tells me that could be a bit more tricky than it looks. So I'm going to try and come across here. The real difficulty I'm having here, of course, is lining myself up. Come on, you whole thing. So close. Getting into the ruts is the key, and I can't seem to get across. You just can't explain how slippery this mud is until you've experienced it.
Give it one more go.
Just a bit more and I reckon I would have made it, but at what point do you keep going and risk breaking things? Now, I think I'm pretty close, so I'm going to stop here and winch just that last half a truck length to the top.
Just slippery. Super slippery clay. All right, go in a bit.
I really advise you never to hit Coffs without a winch. They will pay for themselves in one trip. I reckon I was that close. It's just, I think I heard Shauno say up the front there that when it rains in Coffs Harbour, this clay stuff, I reckon you can grease bearings with it. It's just, you've got to experience it to understand. To be honest, I reckon Shauno 35's locked, 4-inch lift. I reckon he might have troubles getting up there, but we'll see, because this stuff's just, it's unforgiving. It's Sean's turn, and if I know Sean, he won't be holding back. This is like a red rag to a bull. He just loves the opportunity to give that truck full noise.
Now I'm in the rut, we can give it plenty.
That thing's, I don't have words.
Animal.
It
Just
is.
pure power.
It is.
Off top.
What's sort of making me laugh a little bit though is that Shauno thinks it's him.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
It's not.
It's got nothing to do with him. Now, Jock's concentrating here to position himself for this attempt. Now that he's in those ruts, he can give this a go, but he's going in for a big runner. But hang about. Hang on, whoa!
Your back plate came off. No, if I go forward, it'll just push back.
You reckon?
You'll be right.
Have you done this before?
Would you believe me if I told you the back of it is held on with cable ties?
Oh, I wouldn't believe it, Jock, not for a second, mate.
It's going to lift him up. Here he goes. But nah, it's just not happening. He's so close.
Is it going to rip off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will. Not much you can do about it. And worse still, that bash plate has got him up high and dry.
Did I run over it?
So you can see old Jocko's guard down here, and now only the back is held on with cable ties, which when you think about it is logical because 90% of the time you're driving forward. So you would put the weakest point at the rear. It's good thinking on Jock's behalf. He's used the cable ties in the right spot. Safety first, we want to try and save it. So we're going to winch up here because if we go backwards, you can see what's going to happen. Just going to rip it off, so we'll winch him up. This is a simple winch forward, but everyone's standing well clear until Jock gets up to where he needs to be. Nathan spotted an alternative way through that he can make with the trailer. Here he goes. Oh! He gives it a whole bunch of momentum and holds on. What a wild ride. Good one, mate. Is there still a camper trailer on there? And through he comes with the trailer following behind. That's great work. And better still, it won't be long now until we reach our camp for the night. How good's this, lads? The weather's playing ball and the river's got water in it. That's a good thing.
No, that's a pretty specky little campsite, mate. What's this one called?
I can't tell you, mate. It's a secret what this is called, because you'll lose it if you find out what the name of this place is.
Free beer campsite.
Close, mate. It's called Cod Hole.
I bet Sean still can't catch a fish in this one.
This camp at the famous Cod Hole is just fantastic. It's got plenty of flat ground, and Sean's going to love the fact that we're right on a beautiful flowing river. How's this for a campsite, mate? I told you I wouldn't let you down.
Absolutely sensational.
Cod Hole, mate.
The cod hole. What do they call that, mate?
Well, I reckon there'd be the odd cod. What are they getting you? Easterns? What
Easterns,
are they?
yeah.
Eastern cod.
Easterns.
Cod. Never even seen one. I reckon
Really
they're
rare.
like,
Really rare.
I reckon they're like unicorns, the old Eastern cod, if you ask me. I've never seen one. Now, you're cooking tonight. That's got nothing to do with the campsite.
I certainly am.
What are you cooking?
Well, look,
Don't say Eastern
let's just
cod.
have a beer, enjoy the campsite,
Yeah.
and I'll think of something to cook.
You've got something, you know. You just
Might even be a little bit of a theme tonight.
a themed dish.
Themed dish. I want people, might be a fancy dress, who knows?
It's bloke.
Spanish,
Eh?
Spanish, that's all I'm saying. Hola.
Hola. Right. I reckon we should grab a cerveza and retire to, how do you say, El Campo.
No comprende.
This is actually quite an old campsite, and the original campsite was much further down beside the river, but during heavy winter rains, it always gets flooded out. So they've made a sensible move, and they've taken the campsite and put it up where it is now, much higher above the river. That doesn't detract anything. It's still one of the best campsites you'll ever see. Cheers to the, what do you call this part of New South Wales, mate? Mid-North Coast?
Northern Rivers, probably.
Northern Rivers. Cheers to Northern Rivers. Magnificent part of the world.
Cheers. It is a great place. Right, I'm
gonna get stuck into it?
I'm going to start. Make
Done.
a start.
I'm
I'll be
looking
back
forward to that.
by the time you finish your beer.
No,
Nah, that's not true.
that's not going to happen.
Tonight we're going to cook up a little bit of Spanish bush chook. I think the correct word for it is a paella, but the way I'm going to cook it's going to look nothing like a paella. In fact, it's going to be a quick and easy one as well, because I figure the less time cooking, more time sitting around the campfire, and I'm a big fan of that, and I know you guys are too. So I'm going to jump into the Waco, grab the chicken out. That's pretty important for the old Spanish bush chook. We'll grab some chicken out and also some chorizo. Now, what you do with a paella or a Spanish bush chook, whatever you want to call it, put all your ingredients in the pot, turn it on for about half an hour, and the thing cooks itself.
How's it going, mate? Oh, you haven't even started yet.
I haven't started, I'm just about to start.
Ah, yes.
Actually, you could chuck that pot on, eh?
So what did you decide to cook?
Spanish bush chook, mate.
Spanish bush chook.
Yeah. Have you heard of a paella before?
Paella, yeah.
What?
Hola.
Eh?
¿Cómo estás?
Eh?
¿Estoy bien?
No comprende, eh? A
Oh
little bit of
my
olive oil, chuck a bit of that stuff in. Actually, go a bit nuts with the olive oil.
Yeah, that's all right. It's Spanish. They love the olive oils.
Spanish, you chuck that in. Oh, sorry, mate.
I've been hit.
Sorry.
Charrito. You can actually eat these raw, I think.
No, you can't. I think that's bacon you're talking about.
Oh, you should be able to eat chorizo raw.
Really?
I think so. You really are cutting those up big and thick and chunky.
Yeah, you're going to definitely need a knife and fork for this meal, because the thing with Spanish bush chook, and that's why I suppose we're calling it Spanish bush chook. It's not.
Oh, why don't you throw some on the floor?
Anyway, just give that a going over.
2 of those?
Oh, I'll go 3.
Woo.
I don't think they're that hot, are
they
they?
won't be that hot.
They're red cayenne.
Oh, here we go. Give it a second. Yeah, is it hot? Should we put all...
Mostly flavour.
No, it's good.
It's got a bit of go about it. Oh, whatever you do, when you're chopping chilli, don't touch your nose either. What we've got here is just thighs. Now, you're going to go, what's he doing? But I'm just chucking those in. I'm cutting these thighs literally in half. Most people probably go a bit smaller, but look, we're not here for a long time, Jock.
I like my
Well,
chicken
you
medium
certainly
rare,
are.
I think.
What you want to do here is you literally just chuck your rice in. You see all that liquid, that's chicken stock we put in, by the way. The rice
RSPCA approved.
absorbs, the chicken stock cooks in the paella. So you basically want a cup and a half.
Yeah, roughly.
Two cups maybe.
Yep, that'll do you.
That's probably about, what, 2 cups? That's
Roughly.
That's a fair bit.
Spring onions.
What about that? And a bit of salt too.
From a height,
Chuck them in.
put them straight in.
Whoops. Mostly.
Oh, look, technically what you should do is a bit of white wine. I don't have white wine, I don't have any wine. In
You
fact,
have beer.
I do have beer. That's a good idea, Jocko.
Lots of that.
I'll just put
Put a bit of that in there?
Just put a little bit of beer in there. That's,
Oh, that was the dregs of your beer.
I reckon, oh heck, let's give that half an hour and we'll come back and have a look.
There you go.
There we go. Cheers, boys. I'm going to get another beer because I put half mine in here. There you go. It's been about half an hour. Holy heck. Look at that. That is cooked. It looks good. It smells good. Boys, you got to come and wrap your laughing gear around this one.
I smelled it from over there, mate.
Oh,
look at that.
I nearly jumped in first here.
Yeah, you jumped on those plates.
Look at this. You guys don't muck around, do you?
Want a bowl?
Holy heck.
I'd love a bowl.
And all the hard work was happening. I couldn't cook for you guys. You wouldn't come around.
Get in there.
Well, that's quite good.
That's actually remarkably good.
That's really good, actually. Spanish bush chook.
Mate,
Is it a winner?
really is.
It's not bad, is it?
Really good.
Jock. There you go,
I'm
mate.
so excited, I've dropped my food.
At least your cooking's better than your fishing.
One pot wonder. Just chuck it all in. Go have a couple of beers and come back. And there you go. Dinner is served. Want to sit around the fire, blokes? What do you reckon?
Sounds like a plan. I'll get a beer first, I reckon.
Adios. Stick around, guys, because in part 2, we take on the infamous third bear track.
That was a spirited drive.
There's just enough time for one more cup of coffee before it's time to get packed up and back on the move. But between you and me, look, I could literally stay here all day. This is such a spectacular spot. It's a good idea when you've had a bit of dew overnight just to take your time in the morning and pack up around mid-morning and try and keep your canvas in the sun for as long as you can. So of course, it gets time to dry out. This Nimboida region right here is some amazing river systems that wind through the valleys, often cutting their way across four-wheel drive tracks and giving us four-wheel drivers the opportunity for some great little crossings. This one right here, well, it's quite shallow, but it doesn't take away from the beauty of the crystal clear water flowing across the rocks. The third bear is a challenging climb, but with this sunshine drying out the clay, I reckon we'll get a lot more traction than we did yesterday.
This is really steep. Wow, it feels a lot steeper when you're in the car.
It's only a short section of track, but of course it's extremely steep. Both at the bottom and the top there are some huge ruts. This is an A-grade Coffs track, and I love it.
Solid hill. There you go. What an absolute beast. I love this car. It's such an animal. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Mate, that was...
What a
drive,
drive,
eh?
Wow,
Oh, here he is.
Well done.
That 80 is a hell of a truck.
Well done, Johnny.
What a
Good
drive.
job.
That is insane, dude. At no point here I was thinking,
So was I. But it felt good, and that's the difference between that vehicle and like the Dirty 30.
Yeah,
I was in control. Anyway.
All right, well, I'm keen to give it a crack.
Yep.
All right,
Let's get into it.
Try this line
good luck.
and just meet you at the top.
Sounds good to me, mate.
Okay, let's give this a go. Here we go. Oh yeah, that looks pretty gnarly from down here. Okay, my turn in the D-Max, and the number one thing I'm going to be trying to do here is stay out of the ruts. I don't have the clearance, and if I fall in, I'll belly out, and that'll be game over.
Good drive, mate. Good drive.
Yep, it's those massive ruts, and I'm just completely bottoming out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm going to give it a couple more attempts because I hate to admit defeat. With Sean outside, you see, he can give me some direction as to where I can go and try and navigate my way across the ruts. But unfortunately, it's just not happening. I'm getting held up at the back, and it's just not enough traction to pull me through. Can I come further this way?
Yeah. Yeah. Try that. That's a good line. Still in that hole. I'd be going for a winch.
Sean's recommended the winch. He's my eyes out there, and I trust his judgment on this. I could try and punt it up through this section, but I'm very close to these banks and there's potential panel damage. The winch pull will be a lot slower, however, it's a lot more controlled.
Young bull, old bull. It's one of those things when you're winching, you always want to look what's going to happen when you are winching, because if we go on an angle, we're going to pull him straight into a bank. We need to go as straight as possible to keep those panels straight.
Rattle. How am I looking, mate?
Yeah, Yeah, mate, you're all good here.
Just really close to this left-hand bank. It's like a little island in the middle of the track. I'm just very conscious. We're doing panels on it. Just taking it really easy here. There we go. Oh, there is a deck of playing cards in this.
That was really close to that bank, but he did really well just on and off the winch just to make sure, getting those wheels just right, and it was millimetres between the bank and the D-Max, so kept it straight. Hats off to him.
Sounds good, mate.
Now that I'm in a better position, we're going to place the Max tracks into a couple of the bigger ruts up front so I can get a good shot at gaining some momentum.
So the D-Max is just trying to climb 2 holes at once. We've chucked a couple of Max tracks in them. Hopefully it'll be enough just to pop her up before she gets to this big rock step, so we'll see how it goes.
And yes, it worked. I love it when a plan comes together. Having made my way across those bigger ruts, the D-Max now powers on through to the top. I'm pretty happy with that.
That was a spirited drive.
I don't think it's trailer friendly.
How easy is that thing to unhitch?
Yeah, mate, 2 seconds. The ADR compliant
Well,
coupling
I know
makes it
you're
easy.
dead keen to give it a go.
Yep.
I know Jock's just frothing the bit right now.
Yep, I am going to have a date with my rear diff on that rut up there, I reckon.
Who says that?
At least you got a date, mate.
Yeah, that's
All right.
Okay, it's Jock's turn.
All right, this is going to be interesting. I have the least amount of clearance out of everyone here, but I'm twin locked. So, I don't know, I reckon I'll do all right up until a point, and then I'll probably diff out towards the top. But there's only one way to find out. So I'll give it a go and see what happens. All right, Luxie.
Righto, Jock's up, and he's seen exactly what's involved on that right-hand line. Now, he's done this sort of thing before, and he knows how to wheel that little Hilux of his. He's a good driver.
Come on, climb, baby, climb. Climb, 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 climb. Up you get, come on. Up you get, up you get. Come on, baby. Climb for me. Up you get.
There you go, that's it. Coming up around, yes, you can see that perfect line. He's absolutely nailed it.
Rear diff. Yep, I diffed out.
Just as he thought, rear diff. That's going to hold him up. Bugger, he was so close. Nah, it's that rear diff. You're really on it. Like you've got all this too. All right, Jock's just, I feel for him because it's so close. He's just got this big lump in the middle here that's catching his rear diff.
You need to winch about half a metre.
Yeah, that's it. All right.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Just where I had to as well. A quick winch and Jock will be on his way.
Hello.
I'm just sitting on my belly. All 4 wheels are just a little bit more clearance and I reckon I'd have it.
Get out of the way.
All right, final drive to the top, brother. Come on, Jocko! Get up it! It's a bit slippery here. Yes! That's a good drive. How good is this? All right. Nathan has heeded our warning and he's opted to take the trailer off for this challenge.
My heart's going about 47,000 miles an hour.
With that trailer off, Nathan hasn't got much in the back, so of course he's extremely light. However, Nathan doesn't drive these sort of tracks. This is not really something that he would do on the weekend, but with us here to guide him through, he is absolutely amped and can't wait to give this track a crack.
Back off, go, 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 go.
Well done. Okay, we're going to make use of the max tracks right here. As you can see, they are working an absolute treat. That is a heck of a drive when you consider these are not the sort of tracks that Nathan's used to.
Yeah!
That, mate, is epic. You should be proud of yourself. It's an awesome drive from Nathan, but with all this fun he's having, he doesn't hang around and he's back down to pick up the trailer. We've had a cracking afternoon, but time's getting on, so we decide to head to camp. Now, Coffs Harbour does have a variety of terrains out here for all sorts of abilities and four-wheel drives. However, you really need to know where you're going. It would be extremely easy to get out of your depth out here by taking a wrong turn and ending up at the bottom of something you can't get back up. This camp is actually in a farmer's field and it's just outside the main area of Coffs, so for us, it is perfect. There's no amenities out here, but what it does have is a cracking view over the Great Dividing Range, a tree under which to pitch camp, and plenty of flat, grassy ground to set up the swags. Mate, I don't know about you, but that was a cracking day on the track.
Heck of a day.
You can't really have, well, you suppose you could have a bad day on a Coffs track, but you're out here doing what you love.
Even when it does go pear-shaped, still you have a lot of fun on it.
You wheel 'em.
You wheel them, mate.
And it's the place to wheel.
If you want to test your four-wheel drive for what it was built for, this is the place. Yeah, exactly right. I suppose it really does go to show you don't need a lot of money to hit the tracks, you know. Drive what you've got, use it for what it's built for, and have a lot of fun. That's what it's all about.
Mate, that's why we're out here. That's exactly why we're out here. Can't wait for tomorrow. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
You.
Cheers, boys.
We're going to get a fire cranking, get a bit of food on, a couple of beers, watch the stuff. Ah, you know what I'm talking about. This is why we own four-wheel drives, and this is why I love camping in Australia. Don't go anywhere, guys, because in part 3, we go all out Coffs style. And Nathan takes a hit. I love waking up at camp early enough to enjoy the mist that hangs around in the air. However, I can see that some people also like to lay in. Don't they, Shauno? Come on, mate, get up. Breakfast is served. As you can see, I also love winding up my mates.
Bingo.
Can't trust them.
You know, some mornings when you've had a heavy dew or you've had some rain overnight, you might not have time to wait and dry your canvas, as I mentioned before. In this case, just try and shake or wipe as much of the rain or the moisture off as you possibly can before packing it away. And then, of course, make sure when you get home that you open it all up again and let it dry thoroughly. Your future self will thank you for it, trust me. When crossing log bridges out here, it might be worth getting out and checking the structural integrity. What I mean by that is how darn strong they are. This one looks okay though.
Now I'm looking on this bridge, boys.
Yeah, mate.
I saw one of the logs move as soon as I went below it.
Oh, that's not very nice.
I'd have to say that Nathan with the camper trailer would be the heaviest one here by far. So, it's a good idea not to hang around. He's made it across the bridge, but suddenly he's slid into a massive rut on that passenger side.
It's a pretty funky angle we're on at the moment.
What's he doing? He couldn't make his mind up between two tracks and decided to go for the middle one. Oh no, just slippery. Coffs Harbour, as soon as it rains, it really turns it on.
We're going to need to winch him here.
Just starting to get some water in. Don't lean too hard. Ooh.
Driven a few obstacles in my time, and I can add sawdust to the list if you've seen the Tasmanian DVDs. I've driven mud, I've driven clay, grass, all sorts of weird things. But right here, I've actually got a car. Someone's got stuck here, probably a Toyota. Didn't make it any further. This is where they parked.
Okay, we're starting to get some water in the car. So we're going to get out of this, boys, or we're just going to sit here?
Take up the tension. All right, you can see that we have put this up here at exactly 6'4", and I know it's 6'4" because it's right at my head height. And the reason we've gone that high, could be about 5'2". The reason we've gone that high, of course, is to try and leverage the four-wheel drive up and out of that bog rather than pulling into the bog. So for this case, it's a really sturdy tree. That leverage isn't going to hurt that tree at all. We're not going to pull it over. The rain is starting to bucket down, of course, Coffs Harbour. So we're going to give this a go, see if we can pull Kevin out of there. See how we go.
All right, give it another go, mate. Yeah, can you turn right hand down at all? Don't drive too hard, just a little bit.
Do you reckon you're going to pop him up over there, or should we try and get him backwards? Like, should we go round finish the loop, pop out the other end. We've tried and we're not able to pull him forward, so Sean's going to position the 80 behind him and pull him out backwards to get him onto a better angle.
Get into it, maybe.
Hey, Sean, good to see you, mate.
All right, we'll try this. Got myself in a position behind him, so I'll be able to hopefully winch him back.
Ah, it's working, that's good. We're trying to get, oh, that angle is gnarly. The truck and the camper trailer back just enough so that we can bring him back up through here and avoid this big lump here. Because as you can see, where that bumper bar is, it's just hitting directly into this mound. We can't pull him up and over it. That's working. With all eyes on it, we're just making sure we pull Nathan back in line, but not back so that he slides over the edge off that bridge. Having winched Nathan back out of the rut, we're going to reattach the winch to the tree up top and try and stop him sliding back in. Hoping that ramp's going to be enough there. See where he's kind of coming up? Yeah. Just don't drive. Don't drive! Don't drive! Hold there. It's worked, thank goodness. Good stuff. Now, as we push deeper through this valley, we've got some big bog holes to contend with. That exit looks daunting, lads.
Yeah, what is it? Just a big muddy puddle sort of thing?
Yeah, with a sort of a vertical exit. I'm going to get into it.
You're going up the Coffs Harbour gunshot, mate.
This is an absolute doozy of a bog hole. You see, the main issue here is not so much inside the bog hole, but it's getting back out. It's off camber. You haven't got two wheels on the slope at the same time, and it's super steep. It might only be short, but super steep and super slippery. Okay, what's happening here is I'm going to have to jump out. There's a log, and I'm picking up the log and driving it into the bank. I don't know what I'm picking it up on. I don't know, I hope I haven't done any damage anyway, but I'm just going to jump out and do stuff. Oh. I'm not saying that's what the problem was, but I don't think it was helping. I don't think I've got a hope in hell of climbing out of there. Yeah, lads, there's no way I'm going to drive out of here. I'll need to be winched. It's a fair old pull out of that hole. Well done.
Oh, this is slippery. That exit is almost near vertical and doesn't look like a lot of traction.
Sean's going to have a crack at this, and pride says he's going to get stuck into it. Yes, as I thought. Foot to the floor. Jeez, that thing sounds good.
That's all I'm going to do.
Nah, you got further than me. I quietly thought he'd drive that, but what happened there, if you break it down and look at the elements of the four-wheel drive's approach and departure angles, the wheelbase and all the other bits and pieces that are into it, the problem there was that Sean ran out of talent. Much the same as myself though, Sean's opting to winch, and once again we've used the exact same recovery point. Up nice and high, pull the truck up off the bank rather than into it. This challenge has got us all beat. So really it's just a case of keeping the recovery gear out and repeating for each vehicle.
If Sean didn't drive that, I didn't have a hope in heck.
Winch you're in.
Then of course, it's Nathan's turn, and something different is about to happen to him. Suddenly, there's a noise and there's no drive to the front wheels. as you can tell, this doesn't look good. We'll winch him out just like we've had to do with everybody else, and we're going to need a closer inspection.
Nathan heard a noise back there and just wanted me to check it out. We didn't notice much drive happening to the front, and it shows it pretty clearly. The tail shaft of the front is spinning. Nothing's happening with the front. He's done a diff. We might have to try and get you out of one of these chicken tracks out to the main track and have a good look at it, mate. Bugger.
What this really means from here, of course, is we've got to get Nathan out and get some repairs done. Of course, he's still driving. He's still got two-wheel drive, but these tracks are super slippery. The hill up here is as slippery as ice. So what we're going to do, obviously we've got that busted front diff on the old Hilux there. I'm going to attempt to snatch him all the way up this hill if I can and get him up onto the flat where he'll be fine. Totally fine to drive out of here on his own and under his own steam. But this, I mean, just never underestimate a little bit of rain and Coffs clay. That section up there,
Slippery as anything.
it really is. It's insane. So let's get out of here. Just let me know when that strap comes up tight, mate. Just give it a red hot go, mate. Here we go. Here we go. It's the D-Max to the rescue. Just keep your eye on that strap and don't get too over exuberant and run over it. What I've done here, second gear, low range, and I'm just going to give it everything I've got. Woohoo!
Yeah, mate, I'm over the ledge.
We're getting there, mate. We're getting there. We're doing it. Oh, this is sensational.
Excuse that Isuzu pulls well, mate.
How are you boys towing up this big steep hill?
We're all good, mate. We're all good. Powering through it.
That's a go, that's a go. I reckon we'll get off these clayey tracks and even head down to the coast. What do you reckon? We're pretty close to the beach from here.
Oh, that's the beauty of Coffs, isn't it, mate? You're only 5 minutes from the beach at any one time. I reckon that's a good idea. And then, I don't know, I don't think I'll get any argument from you. You want to go and have a beer?
You read my mind. Yeah, definitely, I'm in for that.
That's the great thing about Coffs. You see, it really does offer everything to the avid four-wheel driver. And this Coffs Harbour truly has fulfilled all of my favourite reasons to own a four-wheel drive. I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed this trip because, look at us.
We've been to Coffs Harbour.
Grubby humans. Great having Jock along.
It's been all right.
Mate, we'll do it again.
No, it was just good for Sean and to see what a real truck looks like. So.
Yeah, teammates are not bad.
No.
Good old Nathan pushed through. Bit of a breakage at the end, but you're still here, mate, on the beach.
Yeah, there, mate.
That's it, mate. You got a bit of go about you. That's good to see.
I think the winner is four-wheel driving.
Oh, I'm going to cheers to that, mate. And speaking of cheers,
Beer time.
It really is. I'm out. Let's go. Let's go. We'll catch you next time, probably up here at Coffs Harbour because we love this spot. But for now, we go to the pub. Catch you later.
good on you guys.
Short? No, you're not Sean, you're Jock. What?
Good lure.
Ah. Yeah, I fell in the rut, boys. There's nothing I can do. Oh no, I've dutched the cameraman. Alright, cast that again and do it good this time. Okay, back far. Yep.
Maybe
Straight
scared
ahead.
the fish this time.
Well done, there's it's good cast. It's right where you want it.
See, like, good fishers don't even need to look at the water.
Actually, you did look
Oh, you got a fish. One of the sickest manoeuvres I've ever seen.
You know what, though?
I'd like to say there was a lot of skill involved.
There wasn't. If I was being completely honest, I wasn't passing the whole way. It just did its thing, and I was like, oh, I'll go forward now.
Always smile at the cameraman and he'll give you lollies.
It's not. This is the chicken track of the chicken track.
It's a... Right, you can't even stand up
Don't
on
stand
it.
in the
You
rut.
need lockers,
Do not
mate.
stand in the rut.
It's been raining. At least I won't get dehydrated.
Whoops. This is a really big awning. Jesus. I'm like, oh no. Help me, Doc. Help me. I've blown a leg out.
And you can come on through when you're ready.
I'm ready. Oh, I'm so ready. Sean, I'm looking at you. Speaking of which, here's the noddy right here. Come over this side, Darian. Not telling you how to do your job. Gonna look sick on this side.
I love the sound of an exhaust underwater.
Okay, high energy. Okay.